What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, G11, and today we are talking about something that has been a topic for quite some time. If you haven't read the thumbnail, read the thumbnail. If you haven't seen the thumbnail and read the title, you would already know today we're talking about reparations. And quite honestly, I can't believe this is still a topic. Reason being, we people of a certain demographic need to stop waiting for a handout from Uncle Sam for something that happened hundreds of years ago. Because the reality of the situation is that handout's never coming. In fact, actually, I'll tell you what, we did get our reparations when we got those stimmies during the lockdowns and everything during the pandemic, as some people call it, right? That was reparations right there. What some of these folks are asking for is uh, to be quite frank, absolutely nonsense. So, if you guys have no clue what I'm talking about, over in California, Gavin Newsom, the governor, he established a reparation task force. It was a bill that was passed some time ago. I can't say exactly when, but you can actually go on their website and see it. And the purpose of the task force was to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans with a special consideration for African Americans who are descendants of persons enslaved in the United States. And it's like, okay, so you're targeting, I guess, American African, like but not immigrant Africa. Is like, how do you? It gets all muddy, and how do you start determining who gets what? You know what I mean? But that's even beside the point. The fact that this task force is even established, to me, was an optic for Gavin Newsom to get reelected again. In fact, I'm pretty sure he had his eye on the White House or has his eye on the White House. So that tells me this thing was put in place to provide good optics so that he could get certain votes for free and do absolutely nothing. So I'm going to pull up an article from the New York Times that gives Gavin Newsom's recent remarks regarding reparations. So check it out. This is from the New York Post. Governor Newsom declines to endorse reparation checks proposed by California task force. Is anyone really surprised? He said, all right, I'm gonna let y'all make this task force. I'm gonna take y'all recommendations, but nah, we ain't gonna do them. I'll hear you out, but nah, we I'm not surprised at all. Because some of the things that they were asking for as reparations, I think it was like $300,000 and some land, or it even went up to like $1 million per person at one point. And it's just like, how do you even expect the government to pay that? California is operating in a deficit right now. I think it's like a million or $1 billion in debt, operating the deficit. So how the hell are they supposed to give out that type of money to God knows whoever, right? But people didn't care about that. People just want the money. They want the reparations. So let's dig back into it. All right. California Governor Gavin Newsom declined to throw his support behind cash payments of up to 1.2 million for Black residents recommended by his reparations task force, according to a report. The Democratic governor told Fox News Digital on Tuesday that reparations, and I want you guys to listen very closely. This is funny. Meant to take responsibility for the country's history of slavery and systematic racism is about much more than cash payments. Right. In other words, no, as Dr. Evil would say, right? He called the task force findings a milestone in the effort to advance justice. This has been an important process, and we should continue to work as a nation to reconcile our original sin of slavery and understand how that history has shaped our country. So, this is just a politically correct way of him saying no, right? Newsom said in a statement to the outlet, dealing with that legacy is about much more than cash payments. But he declined to endorse any specific recommendations by the task force while still praising its work, according to the publication. This is hilarious. And check this out. So this is where it gets even better. Check this out. Many of the recommendations put forward by the task force are critical action items we've already been hard at work addressing, breaking down barriers to vote, bolstering resources to address hate, enacting sweeping law reform and justice reforms to build trust and safety, strengthening economic mobility, all while investing billions to root out disparities and improve equity in housing, education, healthcare, and well beyond, he said. People really thought they was getting the dough. The 9-member committee voted in favor of several recommendations Saturday, including cutting eligible Black Californians a minimum of $360,000 in checks. Listen, there is no way something like that will ever, 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 ever go into law to take any type of effect. People got to wake up and stop waiting on the government to cut these reparations, because it's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. What people need to do is get themselves in order, get their houses in order, get our communities in order. That's how we're going to begin to trend towards building wealth. However, personally, I've had many discussions with the homies about this, and I think it is too late for certain people. I think it's too late. In 2023, I think it's too late. I think certain things are too far gone. And people are going to keep playing in the victim Olympics and keep trying to get this money. Or should I say, keep trying to get things for free without doing any work. I'm telling you, you look at other groups of people, everyone else is putting in the work and coming together and putting away these pointless bickering, the killing. Other folks are coming together, building their families up, building their group communities up, getting the outcasts out of there, right? The people that's actually no good, they're getting them out of these communities, man. You look at a certain demographic, they're the only ones that support the people that are doing things that are in their worst favor, right? Let's see what the rest of the article has, and we'll wrap this up. The task force recommended that the state create a new agency that would determine how much each Black resident was owed by California as a result of their ancestors being enslaved or racist policies like redlining. The group suggested payments range from a few thousand to as much as 1.2 million, depending on a series of eligibility factors like past incarceration and housing discrimination, according to Fox. This is absolute madness. Reparations. Some economists had estimated that the payouts could cost taxpayers upwards of $800 billion, more than 2.5 times California's annual budget. The task force didn't offer any ideas on where the money would come from. Of course not. Of course they're not. They're not going to offer any ideas on where the money's going to come from. They just want it. Just cut me the check. We don't give a fuck about inflation. We don't care what it costs the taxpayers. We just want the check. The committee is expected to submit its final recommendations to the California legislature in the near future. The lawmakers will decide whether and how to put its recommendations into action before sending them to Newsom for his signature. That's the end of the article. Personally, guys, I don't think this will ever become a thing. I've said it throughout the video. I've said it in the past. People got to stop waiting on something that's never going to happen. No one's going to give you anything for free in this life. You got to be willing to get out there, put in the work, learn the skills necessary to make it to the big bucks. But what do I know? I'm just a talking head on the internet. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, guys. Peace.